In New Hampshire, a mysterious stone structure found deep in the woods has experts baffled and strongly debating what it is and where it came from.
Whenever somebody comes up with a new idea, a new hypothesis, it's our obligation to say, I don't think so. Prove it.
Could this strange ruin be a place of pagan worship and human sacrifice thousands of years old?
The astronomical alignments are one of the key pieces of evidence the site is ancient.
Does this mean ancient Europeans crossed the Atlantic thousands of years before Columbus?
So it really does open up a whole different way to look at North American history.
What is this place? Who built it? And what could its existence mean for America? In Salem, New Hampshire, a mysterious grouping of megalithic stones, one standing 14 feet high, surround a compound that houses a maze of long chambers and crypts set into the ground. The centerpiece, a huge stone slab that some say looks like a sacrificial table. The family of Dennis Stone has owned the site for 3 generations. He has an amazing theory. Stone believes this is the oldest man-made structure in the entire United States.
If it is in fact ancient and was built by old world people, this would demonstrate that people crossed the Atlantic Ocean a few thousand years before Christopher Columbus or even the Vikings came to America.
Could this structure have been built by mysterious ancient travelers? Stone believes similarities between his site and archaeological sites in Europe could hold the key to uncovering the truth.
And we have a couple of chambers here that are very reminiscent of chambers found in France, Ireland, Spain, the Netherlands. One of the purposes we know of is that they were used for astronomical alignments. And there's also stones that align with cross-quarter days, days in between the seasons. The ancient Celts and other cultures actually set up stones which would mark these times.
The Celts are a diverse group of tribes that dominated much of Central Europe until around 1600 years ago. Stone remnants of Celtic structures, including elaborate burial chambers, can be found all over Europe. It's been suggested that the Celts were also involved in the construction of England's most famous ancient megalith, Stonehenge, a site some believe was created as a giant astronomical tool. Its stones align to the solstice positions of the sun and the moon. Did the Celts come and settle America 1,000 years before Columbus? In the forests outside Salem, New Hampshire, lies a bizarre stone structure with huge chambers and what looks like a sacrificial table. Could this be proof ancient Celts came to America?
When the 1970s, Barry Fell, again a professor at Harvard, stumbled upon a stone carved here on site, and the kind of writing that was on the stone, something called Iberian Punic. The Iberian Peninsula area at that time housed the Celts.
David Brody is an amateur antiquities researcher. He believes the Celts, not Columbus, were the first Europeans to reach the New World.
We think of the Celts as being from Ireland, but actually they originated in Central Europe and then went down to the Iberian Peninsula. But it's the Celts leaving the Iberian Peninsula region that I think came over here and established the site at America's Stonehenge.
Did the Celts build this American Stonehenge as a religious site? Dennis Stone believes some dark ceremonies were performed here.
I'm standing next to the sacrificial table. It's one of the main features at America's Stonehenge. This table measures about 9 feet in length, 6 feet in width, and it sits on 4 stone legs. On the surface of the stone there's a rectangular cutout or a groove that's been made on the surface, and it has a little runoff. So if a ceremony of some type was taking place, a fluid could run through the channel and then run off the stone into a vase, perhaps.
Although little is known of the Celts' religious practices, the Romans who fought them, and even Julius Caesar himself, often described how Celtic druids, or priests, carried out human sacrifice to honor their many pagan gods. The discovery of various ancient sites of ritualized murder in Europe may support this. The stone table in Salem also has another, even more bizarre feature. Dennis Stone calls it the oracle tube.
This tube goes through about 8 feet, comes out underneath the sacrificial table. The voice would project out under the table during a ceremony, perhaps, and people would hear the voice and think it was a god or spirit talking to them.
I am the god of the underworld. I accept your sacrifice. Remember, always obey the priest.
When ancient man went to the effort to build something this elaborate, it was done for religious purposes. And again, that takes me back to the Celts, perhaps 500 BC. That's the type of thing that they did all over Europe at that time and would have done here if they came to America.
Was America settled by Iron Age Europeans? It's an explosive theory, discounted by most experts.
Research since the 1940s has shown there's a great deal of differences between what we find in Ireland and what is found at this site.
Stone structure expert James Gage also believes that an ancient civilization built this place. But his theory is the structure was created by a more local people, Native American Indians.
First and foremost is the large number of Native American artifacts that have been found at the site. And these artifacts range from, scrapers and projectile points, stuff we normally expect, to paint cups and rubbing stones. This evidence also includes clay pottery that they were actually manufacturing on site. One of the more interesting features about this site is it has a number of peck grooves, chipped out stone basins, and they're all been created by pecking out the stone using a hammerstone. And this pecking technique is very distinctive to the Native Americans. The Celtic culture was a fairly advanced civilization, had metal tools, they were making gold artifacts. We would expect them to use more advanced technology other than just simple hammerstones.
Could this be the work of Native Americans? David Brady thinks it's unlikely.
Native Americans in this area of the country did not typically build with stone. They had stone tools, and they used stone to build their hearths, but they didn't build these elaborate structures, typically out of stone.
While these experts can't agree which ancient civilization built the American Stonehenge, archaeologist Kenny Fader believes whomever is responsible wasn't ancient at all.
Yeah, damn right, they were Celts. But they were Celts from the 1800s and 1700s, because those are the people who moved here. Celts in New England 3,000 years ago? I don't think so, but okay. Archaeological sites where people were so neat that they picked every stinking artifact up and left no physical evidence behind? Not bloody likely.